Here we go. So this tutorial is going to focus on mostly how to cover any blemishes, redness, rosacea, dermatitis, rash that I have going on, and the best way to do that. I already showed you my skin prep. That kind of tied into what I do for my tutorials as well. So first, I think it's really important to make sure that your skin is very moisturized, because normally if your skin is irritated, it's probably really dry. I think it's really important after you moisturize to do some type of perfecting primer, and that will kind of help. This is one of my favorites. This is the Youngblood CC Perfecting Primer in the color Bare. This really tones down any redness and helps control any blemishes, any dark spots, and kind of neutralize the color a little bit. I like to use this with a brush right now because I don't want to add any more bacteria with my hands. This is a very clean brush. This is also the Youngblood YB4 brush. It's sanitized, it's clean. Make sure your brushes are very clean if you have any irritation or acne, because you don't want to spread the germs further. Normally I would use my fingers with this because I like how it rubs in, but I don't want to touch it, especially because I put lotion on my hands. So I'm going to show you, just put a little bit of this, not a lot. You can see it has a little bit of a tint to it. Kind of dab the areas that I want. For some reason it's around my nose, my mouth, my eyes. Very strange. I don't know what is happening, but I'm trying to fix it. The reason I like to use my hands is because I feel like the brush can sometimes soak it up, the product up, which I feel like just happened. So I'm gonna use more. But as you can see, it kind of already took down a little bit of that redness there. See that? And of course, I had a nice zit up there as well. So I'm really doing great over here. I don't want to add too much of this because that can also interact with your foundation. So I'm just gonna kind of try to evenly disperse that product. It's really beautiful out right now. I should probably show you guys. Look at how gorgeous. This is my view. It just rained. Yep, there's an army truck there. Our roommate is ready for anything, especially during these times. You can see the observatory over there. Anyway, it's pretty gorgeous. So normally I would actually use a liquid foundation, especially if my skin is so dry. But I've been recently using these Youngblood. This is mineral powder, which I used to use all the time when I was in like high school and junior high. But I've started to use these again, and the coverage on these is incredible. And because I want to film more today, this looks so good on camera, and it actually hides everything better than I can do with concealer. So I'm gonna show you my trick with these. Before I go in with the powder, I'm actually gonna show you, this is just Maybelline. This is their Corrector. So you can see it has kind of like the yellow, the peach, it has a highlighter, corrector. This green you can use to correct any redness. Just going to add a little bit of that green just to correct even further before I do the foundation. Here, I'll kind of show you. Just dab a little bit of green on there. You see how that just cancels that out? So that helps so that you don't add a ton of product. My girlfriend Angie was wondering how you cover a blemish without making it look caked. Well, a good way to do that is to correct it first, like I am with this Maybelline palette. And for redness, like I said, you have to use green. That is the opposite color on the color wheel, and that will hide any imperfections. Because the more product that you add on top of each other, it actually makes the area look worse and cakey and more noticeable, and you'll be able to see that it just gets really dry, and then it kind of starts to scab over, and then you don't know what to do, and you want to just start all over, which usually is probably the best, but then it's irritated. So you just got to very slowly build up this coverage. And I said I wasn't going to use my hands, but it's so hard not to. I like to use my hands a lot. So I'm just adding this, just very specific areas that need a little bit of coverage. So it'll look kind of washed out, but I'm going to add color back to my skin. I hope this helps and isn't disgusting for people to see my rash right now. It's so bad. And this little zit right here. So as you can see, just a little bit of that green corrector just helps hide any imperfections. And then now I can come over with the foundation and it won't be an overload of concealer. I really didn't mean for this to be a Youngblood tutorial, but I've been using their products and I truthfully love them, especially for on camera. I really haven't found anything that makes me look airbrushed and flawless like this powder. So I'm gonna show you how I use it. This is the rice powder that you must do before the loose foundation. Because I had an oil, I had a moisturizer, I added some corrector, I added that CC primer. I need to now go in with just a little bit of this rice powder. That kind of mattifies your skin so that the loose powder doesn't come off blotchy. So I'm just very gently, because I don't want to have too much product. And I know this seems crazy because normally I hardly even use powder on myself. But when I'm wanting a full face and a full coverage for a video or to go out, this is the foundation that I use. Kind of mattified now, just a little bit of that light rice powder from Youngblood, and I use their big fluffy brush, YB2. And now I'm coming in with the color Warm Beige. It's a little bit tanner, because I like to be a little tanner. Just taking a little bit of that powder. I know this is not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to put it on a tissue, but I don't like to waste. I just clean the top after. Okay, and then I come in with the YB3 brush, and I just kind of load that brush up with a little bit of product. I'm going to tap some of that off. I'm just gonna kind of start slowly building this product up. I'm kind of doing it on the side here to make sure that I like the color, since I haven't seen a lot of sun and this is a little bit tanner than I normally am right now. And it's also a little more yellow than I am, but I kind of like to cover up my ruddiness, and I always get my ears too. I want it all to blend in. By this side, this side's not as bad. I wonder if I do sleep on this side. Maybe it's my detergent. Ooh. So I'm basically buffing this in to the skin. And I'm gonna do my problem areas last. Go to my forehead, and you really just kind of buff this product in. And I'm gonna try not to use a whole lot of concealer, so I'm going to take this around my eyes as well and on the top of my lids because they've been really red as well. I'm just gonna lightly do it over my problem areas because I already concealed or corrected that. I don't want to move that product. So normally you gotta kind of buff it in. I'm just gonna lightly do that. As you can see, it's kind of taking away that redness. Oh yeah, you see how now everything is just even and it's pretty much covered up. I mean, you won't be able to get rid of the texture, as you can see, but the redness is completely taken down. And then once I conceal further, it'll look flawless. Now I'm going to come in with the color Neutral. It's a lighter color and it's more cool toned for concealing under the eyes. So I'm actually taking the YB8 brush. I guess this is basically a Youngblood video, but it's worth it. So I'm taking this lighter color on the lid and underneath the eye, and this will kind of conceal and brighten at the same time. This is happening because there's a window up there and the sun is setting. So this is a blending brush for eyeshadow, but I'm using it as a concealer brush for this powder. So anywhere that I want a little more brightening and concealing, I'm using this brush because it's smaller and I have more precision with it. I was very hesitant to use this powder because I never use powder on a day-to-day. I normally use liquid foundation. So when the owner of Youngblood, Pauline, told me to try this out, I was like, ugh, but I'm blown away by how well this works and how well this conceals. And And if you feel like you added too much powder, you can easily come in with a spray, like any type of makeup mist. This is a clean mist. This is by Lily Lola. You can spray your face and it'll rehydrate it and give it some life so you don't feel too over powdered. I have these weird, like, what do you call these, jowls? I don't even know. Like right here. So I like to highlight them because otherwise my mouth looks really weird. So I don't want to get fillers. I mean, look at this. This is just powder foundation. I didn't mean to just use one product. I'm gonna do lots of different videos showing you different products that I love. This is just one that I personally use all the time for videos. I feel like I have the coverage that I want, and it literally covered my entire face with all that rash, and it's not even dry. It's not flaky. It just covered it really nice. And it still looks super dewy, as you can see. I mean, I had oil on underneath, but you can still see your skin, but it just covers everything that you don't want to see in any light. I mean, even back here. It seems kind of weird that you have to put powder on top of powder, but as you can see, I have a little bit of shine there, and I want to tone that down because I never want to highlight that area. So I'm just coming in with the same brush that I was concealing with, just adding a tiny, tiny bit of that light rice powder again. Voila, takes it right away. I want to know how people feel at home trying this, who aren't makeup artists, just doing your makeup day to day. I want to know how you like this product. So please, oh, that's my roommate. Hello?
Yeah, I got you some kumquats.
Are you talking to me?
No.
I hate when the hair gets flat. I feel like it looked so pretty before, and now it's just flat in this room. Something about this air. Maybe it was the humidity from the rain. I don't know. So now I'm going to take, this is a beautiful affordable bronzer. This is a City Bronzer by Maybelline. Take an angled brush, as you can see. This is one I use every day. I don't know the brand, unfortunately, because there's no name, but I think it was really cheap somewhere. I don't know where I got it. Oh, I think it was from the eye mats. It's like that perfect contour brush. Okay, so anyways, this is the 100, and I'm just going to add, just to give myself a little more warmth, right underneath the cheekbones. I always forget that when I do foundation, it gets the top of my lip, and I hate that because then my lip doesn't look as large. So I'm coming in with this. This is the Hourglass Clear Lip Oil. I clearly love it. Everyone thinks I'm vaping. I'm not. Okay. So I'm going to take a little more of that City Bronzer, and I just like to put it really close. I don't want to get too much in the hairline, but it's as close as you can get to that hairline and blend it in for a natural look. And then I always bring it in too, because I like to kind of carve out the face a little bit. So you can see, you can kind of bring it in like right here, and that'll kind of suck in your face. I'm also going to do the forehead. Now I'm going to come in with a Fit Me blush in the color 10. It's just this really light blush color because I don't want the emphasis on my cheek, but I do want to give a little flush. So I feel like this is the perfect color, and I'm using this Bobbi Brown brush that I've had for ages. As you can see, it just gives like a really subtle blush color, and look how that just lifts my face. Just a little bit of cheek. I love that. I like to, I mean, it depends on the face shape, and I can go into that in a different video, but depending on face shapes, that's where you're gonna place your product. I personally always like to lift my face, so I like to even bring it up towards the temple, and even a little bit on the forehead, and a little bit on the nose, eye, just to kind of bring it all in. You can just see how lifted that is. Makeup's amazing. Just kind of lightly tapping this product on. The only cream product I'm going to use is this RMS Beauty Living Luminizer. It's this really beautiful highlighter. It doesn't have a ton of color, which I kind of like. It just gives you a nice dewy effect. You can kind of see see. I can put it on my hand if you want. It just has this really beautiful, ethereal, fresh look to it. And I just want to bring a little bit of that back in with my fingertips. I find this is best warmed up with your fingers. I feel like all the products are meant to be used with your fingers. Use your body heat, warm it up. If you ever have a product that seems really dry, maybe just rub it around a little bit, give it some love, and it'll come back to life. I just feel like it's a really healthy glow. It's not overdone. It's not too shimmery or sparkly. I just want it to look really natural. I always like to do a little bit on top of my lip to make them look larger. And then just a little on the nose, a little bit underneath the brow bone. Coronavirus! Uh-oh. I swear, it's not the COVID. It's not the Rona. Now we have another beautiful window scene over here. I'm saving my eyes and my lips for a different tutorial that I'm doing, but I just wanted to show you how to get a very natural base. Doesn't look too cakey, it looks very fresh, but it's also full coverage, and especially for what was going on with my skin. I mean, you could see I could do a before and after. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions, what videos you want to see, what interests you, what doesn't interest you, if you liked this video, if you didn't. Just give me all of your suggestions and tips and questions and ideas, because I want to show you. So I want all of us to learn and to look flawless, even when we don't feel flawless, because I definitely felt very insecure about showing that. But I'm glad I did, because I can show you what makeup can do, and it's magical. So thank you. And you can follow me at Sarah Nelson Makeup on Instagram. I really appreciate it. Thank you.